The Straw movie is not really the problem. I think there was a lot of misconception and confusion by the point I was trying to make with my movie analysis. It wasn't to say that Straw is a problem as a movie, it's a symptom of what the real issue is, right? And I feel like what I noticed from the little journalism I did reviewing some of these clips beforehand, I noticed that they're talking around the issue. It seems like they're just not going deep enough for me. This movie and even the cast of this movie, they're drawing on these themes and saying, well, yeah, this movie addresses this movie addresses that. But it's just not, I feel like I can't really put it into words. I have to show y'all what I mean and react in real time. And that's why I wanted to do this live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Faith's Philosophy, or welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. For my new viewers, hey, honey, make yourself home and subscribe. You ain't got to be shy. Subscribing is free. But if you want to really support your girl, you can join the channel now. I have membership access because I am officially a monetized channel. Thank y'all so much for all the support and all the new subbies. I really appreciate it. And like I said, if you want to join my membership, you can today. It is active now. And if you join now, you can use some of those perks in this live. So, getting into the meat of today and why I wanted to go live, I wanted to discuss Tyler Perry's press tour for the Straw movie. Now, if you sub from my most recent video, my Straw movie analysis, I talk about some key themes, some key concepts that I noticed from the film. Now, as I've been going through social media and seeing people's take on the movie, I can't help but also notice how the press tour is influencing people's takes. So I wanted to go over and react to a few of the press tour clips, give my analysis, my thoughts, my perspective on it. And this is a conversation, this is a discussion. So feel free to comment in the chat your thoughts, what you agree with, what you disagree with, and most importantly, keep it cute, okay? So this first video is from, let me see, let me move this down. This is, I want to say it's Taraji and Tyler talking and doing an interview about the Straw film.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
How excited are you to bring it to the world now?
I can't wait. I love anytime I get a chance to work with Taraji and have her paint all these different colors on the canvas and screen, and that's what she did. So I can't wait for people to see Straw, the twist and the turns and that hook at the end. They're not ready for it, but it was very important to me that we honored the story, that we told it the way that I felt like Janaya and the other characters would want it to be told, and they all did a great job.
Well, I was going to describe the story as dark, which it is. There are definitely dark moments, but there's also light in this film as well. There's feel good moments as well. Talk to me about what Straw is about and what inspired you to tell this story.
Straw is, but there are a couple of lines in the movie that sum it all up. One is, you don't know how expensive it is to be poor. And the other is, nobody sees us. So this is about a group of people, people who are on the margins, who are not being seen, not being acknowledged, not being...
Okay. I'm gonna try not to pause it too much, but this is really cute coming from a billionaire. Yeah, you was homeless and you lived in your car at one point, but you don't get to billions without exploiting people. So keep that in mind as we watch this press tour, okay? And I see all these comments saying, well, Tyler Perry does this for people, Tyler Perry does that for people. Well, why has Tyler Perry not created another Tyler Perry? Kinga Reed said this in his recent video. Why hasn't he created another Tyler Perry since he's so influential? Right? Right. So let's get back to the video. My bad. And I do want to address one thing that he said, that it's expensive to be poor. Now, I definitely agree with that. As a person who grew up in poverty, watching my own mom struggle and things like that, I definitely know, I had to help support my mother while, she took care of us from a young age. So I get that, being poor is more expensive than having access to resources, or even just having access to family members who have more resources. Janaya in this movie had nothing. She had no family. We didn't really get much backstory on that, but y'all know how Tyler Perry is. So we didn't really get much backstory on that, but we know that she did not have family. She did not have the support system. So even if it's not money, having a support system, it can equate to being able to help you navigate struggles and trials and things like that. But I definitely agree with Tyler. in saying that it's more expensive to be poor, because it's more taxing on your mental health and all of those things. And I think it's just cute coming from rich people telling poor people like, hey, we see you, while they live lavishly, right? So like, I don't know, y'all tell me what y'all think about that.
I'm a single mother. I had hard times? Absolutely. But the difference between Janiyah and I is that I had support. She didn't. And so I empathize with her. And that's what I wanted to show. I wanted to show what it looks like for a person to have all the odds stacked against them with no help whatsoever. And hopefully what we will invoke is more empathy from the audience to kind of err on the side of kindness when you come across strangers, because you never know what cross they're carrying or bearing. You never know.
And that's beautiful, Taraji. We love that, right? And see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, obviously, that is terrible. Of course, people should be more aware of poverty and how hard it is for single moms. But why is it like that? You see, that they're not going far. They're just talking about this is what it is. But why? Why? Right? And so this is the issue that people have with Tyler Perry. At least the people that, you know, no offense, think a little harder, right? Think a little deeper. Because at this point, it's just about thinking. It's just about thinking. And so if we take a movie like that, and this is why I stress the fact that my video was not a movie review. I'm not just telling you what the movie was about and whether you should go see it or not. I'm giving an analysis, a deep dive into the themes of the movie. And so if I'm talking about poverty, I'm going to bring up capitalism, right? But these two are not going to bring up capitalism, especially Tyler Perry. Now, she's a victim of it, honestly, Taraji. I mean, she had a whole like period in her career where she was stressed out. I watched her Breakfast Club interview, by the way. I'm not going to show it today, but I did watch it, and I'm going to comment on that a little bit later. But watching her interview and her struggle with pay in Hollywood and things like that, she has been directly impacted by capitalism, even Tyler Perry. But he's not gonna go as far as to say, well, these structures are like that because of people like me, because of billionaires that exploit people, and I take the bulk of the money while I only pay the people underneath me pennies. And now millions to a quarter million is pennies for him, but really, like, these people's whole life, what they need to take care of themselves, like Taraji P. And don't even think about the people who are running the business behind the scenes, the people buying coffee and assistants and things like that, right? How much are they getting paid? And so that's how that exploiting comes in with capitalism that this movie did not really discuss or even talk about. And that's the part that at least folks like me that think like me, we're like, okay, we need more from this film. Like all we see is the struggling ass lady. Like, where's the critique on the system? Where's the critique on anything? Like, what are we critiquing here? Nothing, right? It's just trauma for the sake of trauma. And that's what people are saying about this movie. But we get the sentiment. We feel for you, single mothers, Black single mothers, specifically, we feel for y'all. But like, we got to go a little bit further and address why you're in the situation you're in, mamas.
Know what a person is going through.
Well, I mean, the movie is very heavy.
Exactly, Christian. Where is the backstory? Why is she broke? Let's talk about it. So, getting into our next video, he do drag every time, literally. Okay, next video, we have Taraji P. Henson. Oh, and she's talking about her origin story, which inspired Straw, according to Tyler Perry, right?
Oh, we love. I can't get over your hair. It's
Thank
so
you.
great.
Thank
Wow. Oh my gosh.
you so much. My hairstylist Tim Wallace is in the back.
Exactly. How you base it off of her, but don't give her no creative control?
But I have to get to the more important part here. This movie, wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
A gut punch that comes
my
over
gosh.
and over and over again. It is
Over
so
and
raw,
over.
so emotional. Tell us more about the movie and
This
why
is why I be cringing. Oh my god. I saw a TikTok. Okay, I'm not gonna pause it no more. Well, I'm lying. I'm probably gonna pause it again. But anyways, I saw a TikTok of a white mom watching Baby Boy. Oh my god. I was so triggered. I was like, just cut it off. And she was crying. She was crying her ass off. I'm like, yeah, okay, but like we watched this as little kids. Like this is nothing to us. But maybe it's the desensitization. I'm probably not saying that right, but we desensitized, y'all. because of movies like Color Purple, Tyler Perry shit. Like, we are desensitized, y'all. For real, for real. All right, getting back to the video.
Say you can relate to the story, and I think we know your early days, so that you had to be channeling so much of yourself in this.
Yeah, I love roles where I get to give a voice to the voiceless, because people who feel unseen need to know that they're not alone, and that people do see you. And also stories that will force the audience to lead with more grace and understanding, because you can never really judge a book by its cover. That's why I always err on the side of kindness, because you never know what battle someone are fighting.
That's right.
And that's Janiyah. She's a single mother. She can't get ahead to save her life. And I've been in that situation before. But the
Why
difference
though? Why? Can we talk about why she can't get ahead? Can we talk about the systemic injustice? Can we actually critique the system, Tyler? So the problem is not the movie. It's a symptom. Because he's not critiquing the system. He's just talking about it. This is why people call it trauma corn. Because he's just talking about it. He's not critiquing it. He's not taking it to another level. So it's like, okay, we know this already. This is just for white people and, people like him and her that have the money now to be like, oh, gut punch over and over and over again. Bitch, that's somebody's life. That is somebody's life every day. They taking them gut punches to the motherfucking face, stomach, ass, booty hole, whatever. Okay, that was good. Every day. Every day. Why I could gut punch? Like, what? Okay, I'm sorry, y'all.
between me is that I had an incredible support group, family, a great sister circle that would relieve some of my pressure. But Janiyah did not. And there are so many Janiyahs in the world. And I want them to feel seen.
Why are there so many Janiyahs in the world?
So I was immediately drawn to this script. Tyler continues to challenge me. I was filming Fight Night, and he calls and he's like,
okay, I think she's just gonna keep saying the same thing, that it's a bunch of Janiyahs in the world, and she's been challenged by Tyler Perry. So let me skip through this a little bit. Taraji is so fine. Let's talk about that. Taraji is so fine, and I just found out she's 54. Mamas, she was playing Janiyah, and I'm thinking Janiyah's like late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s at the latest. She looked damn good without makeup, sweating. People were saying she's like a dope fiend, but that's wrong. But like I said, she a beautiful woman, but yeah, don't really care about that speech either.
I love that. You are the crazy. What has that journey of finding your self-worth been like for you?
well, I had to unplug and go far, far, far away to a land called Bali. Because I felt, never felt outside of yourself, like you were watching your life and you weren't a part of it.
Oh my God, what a privilege to be able to go to Bali when you're feeling outside of yourself. This is what I'm talking about. They not gonna critique the system because they benefit off of it. Hell, I benefit off the system, but I'm gonna critique it as much as I can so we can start making those building blocks to change it. Start planting the seed to change it. But this shit, I'm sorry, Taraji. Whatever you was going through, I don't really feel that bad. You got to take a trip to Bali to get it off of you, to brush it off. A trip to Bali? Girl, what? Okay, moving on.
Quiet.
You have to
You gotta
noise.
quiet the noise.
I think the view should go to Bali. Yeah. Can I go?
Please.
Show you where to go, exactly.
Yes, please. So,
Can I go? Shit, I got some things I need to get off my shoulders that I need to release. I bet you Janiyah would have loved to go to Bali. Okay, anyways, y'all. Let's see what's going on in the chat. I keep accidentally like swiping off the view and going to a different one. Hey Destiny. What do you expect or want from people on her position? I'm going to get to that when I get to Sherri Shepherd, but I'll give a little brief explanation here. I want them to be real, be honest. Be honest. It won't really hurt them to be honest. People still gonna support. I believe in people still supporting people. Hell, I want to get my money in this system as well. But I think that to frame this movie in a light that's like, oh well, it's about Black single mothers and their struggle. What I'm asking them to do is to go deeper, and not even really Taraji, because it's not really about her. She was just an actor. The writer is Tyler Perry. We need him to go deeper because he's the one producing the content, right? We need him to go deeper. Give these characters more backstory. Give these characters an actual like really challenge us mentally, challenge our minds, give us something to question and to ponder on. I noticed in a lot of these interviews they were talking about, oh well, this is opening up discussion in the Black community. Da, da, da. This is the same shit we've been talking about. We've been talking about our poverty. We've been talking about our struggling Black women and single mothers. We've been talking about that. So what is it really doing though? What is it really doing? It's not challenging anything. I think that the purpose of art, the purpose of content should be to challenge stuff. This is why we have issue with Pop the Balloon. This is the reason why we have issue with stuff that we consider brain rot. The stuff that we call brain rot is because it's not challenging us. It's just letting our minds look. You don't use it, you lose it. It's the same thing with muscle tissue. Your brain is a muscle. You don't use your brain, you lose it. And so it's just like watching shit like Straw. Don't get me wrong, heart tug of a movie, great acting because Taraji is in it, but the storyline, trash. Trash. I mean, no, the storyline was good. It's not the storyline that was trash. It's the delivery of the storyline that was trash, right? We needed a little bit more in the storyline, a little bit more plot development, a little bit more character development. That's what I'm asking for. Oh, yeah, this is the one I really wanted to get to. Tyler. He's discussing his inspiration. And I feel like he in front of a crowd of Black people because the way he delivering it is just a little bit different right here. You go see what I'm talking about.
It's amazing. That person's wonderful. I don't know about you ever work with that person again, but they love these women. And what this movie is about for me, I'm gonna tell you what it's about for me. I definitely am a boy who grew up at my mother's apron. I watched the pain of what she dealt with. I watched her friends. I watched them come to the house asking her, can you loan me $5? Can you loan me $10? Single mothers struggling, pushing, struggling, pushing, struggling, pushing. And it seems like they were always just couldn't get ahead. But when you live in a world where the system is set up so you never get ahead. And now where we are in this world, it's like, I don't know if you ever get ahead with what's happening because they're trying to eliminate the very fact that we had footprints in the sand. They don't want our history told. They don't want our books told. So I wanted to write this movie and write it in such a raw way that it spoke to
That he just vaguely said, when the system is set up for you not to. I'm sorry, I can't take Tyler Perry seriously with his chin and that smile. Like it's just something about his face for me. But anyways, nobody shaming here. Not saying he's an ugly man, but it's just something about it. He just give conniving. I don't know, like I can't trust a billionaire. I'm sorry. Like that's like asking me to trust Elon. But anyways, I like how he just vaguely says the systems and how it keeps you from coming up. But where was that in the movie? What you talk about the racist cops? Duh. But what we like? I just can somebody help me out here? Like the the need to be more intentional about like, okay, she's in this community. Her landlord is terrible to her. Everybody in her life is terrible to her. I think the biggest reason why she was treated the way that she was, and I feel like this, and towards the end of the live, I'm going to go over some comments from my previous video, the original video that I made about Straw, my movie analysis, because a lot of those comments are kind of bridging off why I wanted to do this press tour analysis, because I feel like it was really filtering the way people were seeing my analysis and seeing this movie. So, for example, people thought that when I said that poverty in the context of Blackness meant that poverty is just for Black people, white people don't understand poverty, white people don't experience poverty. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is poverty in the context of Blackness has different influences historically as to why Black people are in the positions that they are, why that landlord was treating Taraji like that in the film, why her boss was treating her like that in the film. And that's not to say white people can't have miserable days like we saw in Straw, but it's about specifically in the context of Black people and how we're viewed from the outside looking in. We're not able to be individuals. White people can be individuals. When you see a hillbilly buck white person, you know that that's just that person. You don't attribute that to the whole white population. But when people see movies like Straw, that confirms their biases. They're like, oh, that's how Black people are, right? And we don't care about their biases. But my thing is like, in order to, I mean, we care about the bias because it impacts us, therefore systemic racism, things like that. So we do care about the bias, but at the same time, we can't internalize it, right? And so a way to intersect or to, slowly make changes to people's biases is to actually educate them. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to Straw. The movie is not the problem, it's a symptom, right? And so the fact that he's not going deeper. He's not explaining anything. It's symptomatic to the real issue, which is erasure of our history. Which is funny that he mentioned in this video, he didn't include any history of even this girl in the movie. He didn't include any of her history, and he's talking about the erasure of our history. Y'all, I'm I'm I need a water break. Cause fuck this motherfucker. I'm finna get her. So this is Sherri Shepherd's interview on the Breakfast Club. Now, like I did for Taraji, I tried to find some videos of her talking about Straw, talking about her role. They didn't really talk about her role here. They talked about her dating, her son doing drugs and going to strip clubs. They talked about everything but Straw, right? They mentioned it here and there. But what I really wanted to address is Sherri Shepherd's recent comment on Megan Thee Stallion and the way she dresses. And she mentioned that on her show. Actually, I don't even know how recent it is. But the Breakfast Club interview, how many days ago is this? This was last week. So, oh girl here, I forgot her name. She's talking to her about it. She's going to bring it up. I'm going to give y'all my thoughts on that and kind of tie it into what I mean by this movie, Straw, being more so symptomatic of the real issue and not the problem. No, she didn't say, as a woman, that women are. Okay, so if women are going too far, how far are they allowed to go? What is the box and the limit that you're putting on your own fucking species? Like, this is your species that you're like, I just. I don't know if this is called a STEM. No, an ancestral diversion for higher development. No, I'm not even gonna shy about. I don't even like him, but if you know, you know. What time are you living in? What time is she living in? And girl goes on to say, the young girl that's talking to her, she goes on to say, oh, well, people are saying, like, you know, you an old head, you don't know what you're talking about. And Charlamagne's like, did you listen to your elders? Told some they Google. Like, nigga, exactly. We have access to information. Nobody's listening to what grandma who didn't even read any books has to say no more. Like, we can get access to real live information, science, all types of things that actually are factual and not just your funky ass opinion because you had a bad relationship with Mr. Charles. Let's really talk about it. Let's really talk about it because, first of all, Sherri, what, like, answer that question. What is the limit that you're putting on women? Because you're saying women are going too far. In what ways? Just about the way that they dress? Girl, if you are owned by patriarchy, then let that be you. But don't push that onto younger women. Don't try to indoctrinate those same ignorant points of views. That is the disease. Patriarchy, misogyny, capitalism. These are the diseases. This movie is a symptom of it. This press tour is a symptom of them, right? Are we seeing what I was getting at, right? So, Sherri, like, this take was not a good take. And you're talking about, oh, my platform, and I gotta share it, and I'm a mentor. And, okay, mentor who you mentoring, but don't bring that shit. That's why you got backlash. And, like, it's like, did they do any research? Did they do any studying to see why are people disliking my take? You're bringing up her age. Okay, I'm pretty sure somebody brought up her age, and that's not really the best angle to go about it. Now, it does have a little weight to it because our elders be out of touch. They do. They be out of touch. They didn't read. A lot of them probably didn't even graduate high school, let alone go to college. And so we're not listening to them, right? Like Charlamagne said, they Google. Honey, people doing research these days, right? And so it's like, what I'm really trying to understand what her point of saying that was outside of upholding patriarchy and saying that women need to be covered up because it's unsafe, right? Because she said that these girls don't have bodyguards like they do. they can wear whatever they want. But the girls that she's influencing and, inspiring to do such and such, not only inspiring them to get degrees, but to also do this over there, like they don't have bodyguards. But why would they need bodyguards, Sherry? Why would they need bodyguards? Misogyny. Because men feel entitled to women's bodies. People feel entitled to women's bodies because we've been objectified. Let's talk about it. They're not talking about it. They're a symptom of a disease that keeps it spreading because they're not thinking deeper. Let me look at the chat, y'all. I need a break. Literally, we can't control the way people see us no matter how we dress. Go check out my video, my Sexy Red Addendum. I talk all about that. I talk about the objectification of women. I give history behind it and all of that. Go check it out. That always got me with the elders and the wisdom thing because it's like, do they not realize that their brain is actually deteriorating the older they get? That's why they call it stuck in your ways. So your brain is just deteriorating. It's harder for you to think through things. It's harder for you to, think outside of what you've always known, right? Your brain is losing its plasticity. Plasticity means when your brain literally makes new neuronal pathways because you're learning new things. Old people don't learn new things. They feel like they know everything, so they don't learn new things. They don't have that same neuroplasticity. You just learn a new term. So let's get into these comments, y'all. I agree, but I also disagree with the learning as you grow older because there's always a chance to grow. But yeah, some people get locked in their emotions. Not even their emotions, daddy. They just your brain literally like it's not functioning at the same level, at the same capacity as somebody 25 years younger than you. It's just not. Sorry. Not saying that they can't learn. You're right. People can learn, but will they choose to? Likely not. Especially if they don't feel like it's gonna add any value to their life, right? We're talking about older people. So when people get older, they're more focused on what's going to add value to their life. There's psychological studies about this. They focus on what's going to add value to their life and they try to avoid things that upset them. And so new information that challenges your belief system in the way that you view life is going to cause cognitive dissonance and make you uncomfortable, aka upset you. And that upset doesn't have to be angry. It can just be a feeling of discomfort. And nobody likes to feel uncomfortable, especially not in the worldviews, right? So this is why we get that rigidity in old people. But yeah, get into these comments, y'all. So one comment that I really like that I said I was gonna mention on my live is right here, Miss Ish 19. I really liked her comment. She said, "Ooh, let me and he keeps doubling down when asked about why he continually writes these characters. He says it's because these stories deserve to be told, but it's like those are the only stories you tell. Struggle, depression, poverty, SA, etc. He writes two kinds of Black women characters: the broke down, struggling single mom that's loyal to the church, or she's living in sin and she needs to rededicate her life to the church, but can't put food on the table. Her kids watch her struggle until a man comes along and wants to save her. She likes that man, but gives him a hard time because she usually has some sort of SA trauma from men. For at least 1 hour of the movie, until he eventually saves her from her situation, they get married and live happily ever after." First of all, spot on. Example, Taraji and I Can Do Better by Myself. Yes. Um, why I used to think that Hispanic dude that was, courting her, the blue collar dude, his like I used to think he was so fine, but his jaws remind me a little bit too much of Benzino. So yeah. The second character example, the super hardworking career woman that has it all except for a man. She wants a man, but is portrayed as too masculine, too stuck up, or too independent to get one. And she has to decide whether or not to give up her lucrative career and settle with the humble blue collar guy that can't provide much but a warm hug, and or she needs a man that's a deviant to break her out and have a sexual awakening. Example, anything he cast Gabrielle Union in or Kelly Rowland in Mia Culpa. Can we talk about Mia Culpa? My cousin already know how I feel about that movie. I hated it. I hated the fact that I'm a lesbian, but Trevante, One day, if he ever catch me, I'm married and I got a child, y'all. If he ever catch me, Javante is so fine. But the way Tyler Perry casted him made him so corny. It really pissed me off. He was literally holding a cigarette like this. Who smoked cigarettes like that? Did anybody peep that? He was on a balcony and he was like that is not cool. Like why? Why? Oh my god! Like that really pissed me off. But I really love this comment. Thank you for this comment. Let me cut off my camera real quick, y'all, because the sun is going down, so I need to um adjust my lighting in here real quick. I like me a couple, girl. No, I will never let it go. No, he didn't do my man like that. Like, why, Tyler? Why? Like, I would have really enjoyed that movie had he not embarrassed him like that. But okay, we back to it, y'all. I love that y'all love the Tri-Rag skit. Um, honey, don't copyright me for that. I really love your skits. Yeah. Who is this in the chat? Last name first. Who are you? Has anyone noticed the lack of happy-go-lucky, feel-good rom-coms or romantic movies void of poverty, trauma, slavery, or interracial relationships in the black movie space? No, for real. Why is the best love of a black woman's life with a white man or a Mexican man, Hispanic man, Asian man? Where what was that last movie? No, okay, one good movie that I really liked that was a romance. I don't know if you ever saw it. Last name, first name, um, The Photograph. Uh, the soundtrack was beautiful. Robert Glasper is one of my favorite jazz musicians. Amazing. You need to check it out. It has Issa Rae and the dude from Atlanta. I'm trying to think of what his one of his biggest roles. I want to say Atlanta was one of his biggest roles. He kind of looked like a little puppy. It's given society doesn't want black women to believe they deserve healthy love. I mean, can we really talk about the love options that black women have though? Eh, It's giving it's giving abusers. It's giving users. It's giving it's giving minimal. Cousin, put the stats in the chat. You used to say there's a stat like there's so many black women to so many black men or something like that. I'm all for the squirrel interracial dating. I really don't care who you want to bump and grind with, who you want to get it off on. But like as far as like how we take black people's stories and share them with the world, I'ma always have something to say. Catch me having something to say, okay? I don't know, the photograph was a bit struggle love adjacent. Struggle love adjacent. She had to provide for him. Where are the movies where a man is head over ears and pursues and provides for a non-ambiguous black woman? You know, like normal people. Are non-ambiguous black women normal people in society's eyes? Am I a normal black, a normal person? I don't think so. I think I'm exotic. Maybe out of the country, but you know, only the light skin with the curly hair and different color eyes are exotic here. But like, um, yeah, like, are we normal? Do we deserve normal things? Or are we beastly, too fierce, too independent, too mouthy to deserve normal things? Oh, I wanted to respond to this comment here. Um, Black male 2459. Love the vid so far, but as a Latino, I don't believe Tyler Perry makes movies in service of Black audiences or that they showcase Black culture, but instead are intended for a broad audience that believes that there is something wrong with Black modern culture, which includes self hating Black people, racist, Puritans, the naive, ignorant, such and showcase Black phenomenon. I believe this because this same creator, attitude where there is no interrogation of cultural phenomenon is prevalent among telenovelas, dramas, even comedies from Lat AM. Uh, okay, I don't know. All right, I'm gonna continue the vid and hope I don't have to eat crow. Okay, I get this perspective. And see, this is why I don't know if y'all saw my previous short, but I had somebody telling me that I shouldn't include other people that aren't Black people in these conversations. But we do need their perspective because they're also watching the movies, right? Remember that white woman? Oh, gut punch after gut punch. Like they're watching the movies too, right? And so I really like this person's take from their perspective. Now, from my perspective as a Black person, I know he's marketing to Black people because there's certain nuances that you just don't get if you're not Black and within the culture. Like, why was Taraji's landlord dressed like that the entire movie? She didn't have an outfit change at all. Black people, give me an answer. Oop, I guess you are right. We are masculine, non-feminine, non-deserving of healthy love. I mean, that's what the world will tell us. We can't internalize that though, y'all. We can't internalize that. But we do have to be knowledgeable and aware of how the world sees us because we do have to move accordingly, sadly. We have to protect ourselves. We are our biggest line of defense. And I did like that somebody made a comment and said that um oh, I think the subtle theme, this comment right here, Rachel Jones 5442 said, I think the subtle theme of the movie is Black women only have each other. We are our biggest line of defense. And I agree with Taraji in her Breakfast Club interview. She was saying like she hates to see Black women going at each other because like it sucks to see another Black woman be another Black woman's barrier to success. Like we should not be being barriers for each other when we both have the same struggle is essentially what she was saying, and I really like that. Okay, so this person didn't agree with my take on Christianity, so let's read this one. I'm a Christian. The way Tyler Perry promotes Christianity in his movies is also weird to me. I also think you have a weird perspective of what Christianity is. God doesn't want us to be self depreciating. There are literal verses in the Bible that call us to be bold and confident and to know that we are beautiful, blessed, and loved. The problem is when evil slave masters misuse Bible verses to plant this twisted ideology of constant suffering and self detriment for the sake of others to get slaves to be more obedient. That has unfortunately stuck with many within the Black community till this day. I honestly don't believe Tyler Perry is even a Christian. Hmm. Does it have something to do with his cross dressing? It's all right. I'm gonna play that clip. I'm on stream.
Hello, how do you do? We're so glad you joined our crew. Welcome to our lovely compound, where it all goes down. Hot oil, bananas and cream, white unicorns and wet dreams, rainbow and lace. Oh, it makes me want to scream. And it's awesome with Jesus on our team. Jesus gave me a mission to make plays and dress like women, to wear corsets and real fine linen, big bras with a lot of packing in them. Am I feminine? I know you have suspicions, but I'm all man. Trust me, we can switch positions. It's alright, it's all good. It's alright, it's all good.
Wow, is that in the place?
No, we just did that for fun. Come, let me show you the compound.
Like, is that what his compound is like? Like, I don't understand how the Christian people that work with Tyler Perry, how they rationalize that all these years. I think it's the money. It gotta be the money because, like, how can you condemn the things that he talked about in his movies a lot of times, and the rigid roles that he puts men and women in his movies, like how do you have those takes which are influenced by Christianity and also actively do drag in your movies? But like that video said, it's all right to cross dress for Christ. So as long as you're doing it for Christ, though, how meticulous Tyler Perry is and his attention to detail, right? It's about him being a Virgo. So if that's the case, then everything that was said on these tours, these press tours, was intentional. And people ate that up. And a part of me is like, well, maybe I'm asking Tyler Perry for too much. Maybe I'm asking Tyler Perry for something he can't do, which is actually teach. It's one thing to talk and it's another thing to teach, right? And so maybe given Jania's history wasn't really the most important part of his film. But that begs the question, what was the most important part? And I think he said visibility mainly. Like, we want these women to feel seen, to feel heard. Okay, they felt seen in good deeds. They felt seen, and I could do bad all by myself. They see, girl, like, this is not your first time making a movie like this. And so that's why I took the take that I had and was like, okay, well, maybe, because I'm grasping for straws at this point. Like, what is the fucking point of this movie? And I'm thinking, like, okay, well, it must be about mental health, right? Since at the end we see that she was delusional this entire time. And FD Signifier, the person who shouted out my video, he told me, he was like, the only area that he differed in perspective with me on my video was that he didn't feel like it was actually for him to address mental health. And when I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Yeah. And that's why I was saying if in my video, because I'm just like, well, if this is what he's trying to do, because we really don't know. He has to explicitly tell us. And from what he explicitly told us, it was to give visibility. And I guess that also includes visibility for mental health. But the only person who is in direct connection to mental health is Taraji. She has a foundation for her father. I think he had a mental disorder or illness. So yeah, like that's why I ended with that, take on maybe this was, a PSA on mental health for Black women that are on their last straw. They might go crazy and rob a bank. Oh, and kill somebody. Appreciate y'all for showing up and showing out and chatting with me today. Like I said before, check out the previous video if you haven't already, my straw movie analysis, and also check out my graduate student story. It was very hard for me, and I thought it was ironic to be, getting on Tyler Perry for, trauma, but at the same time, I've been wanting to share that story for a minute, and it is my story. And honestly, I want to tell it before Tyler tries to. Okay, watch, you're gonna come out with a story about a graduate student and it's gonna be hell, okay? I went through hell in that program. So just check that out. Give your girl some support. I really appreciate y'all for coming once again. Y'all have a good night and stay safe. Bye bye.